Recorded Books Inspirational presents an unabridged recording of Waking Lazarus by T.L. Hines, narrated by Tom Stechschulte and directed by Kathleen Gormley. This book is copyrighted 2006 by T.L. Hines. This recording is copyrighted 2007 by Recorded Books, producer and publisher of Recorded Books Inspirational, an imprint dedicated to stories of faith and the human spirit. The author opens this book with the following passage from John chapter 11, verses 9 through 11. If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world. But if a man walk in the night, he stumbleth, because there is no light in him. These things said he. And after that he saith unto them, Our friend Lazarus sleepeth, but I go, that I may awake him out of sleep. And now, Waking Lazarus.
Chapter 1. Drowning, 24 years ago. The first time Jude Allman died, he was 8 years old. It happened after a day of ice fishing with his father, William. Mid-January, Duck Lake. 20 degrees above zero on the thermometer and something far below that on the wind chill scale. Jude sat on an overturned pickle bucket most of the day, occasionally threading a hook through fresh corn or salmon eggs before dropping his line into the inky hole at his feet. A few times, when he was impatient for a bite, he put his face over the hole and cupped his hands to peer at the watery world beneath. He saw a few sunfish, but no perch. None of the perch his father considered such good eatin'. "Should be heading back," William finally said. The comment startled Jude, partly because he himself had been ready to leave for hours, partly because it was only his father's third sentence of the day. The first two, respectively, had been, "Ready to get going?" and "Hungry?" Jude slid off the bucket and reeled in his line. His hook had no salmon egg. Maybe an unseen good-eaten perch had nibbled it, or maybe the egg had shriveled and slid into the chilly water, resigning itself to fate. They gathered their gear and started toward the pickup. Jude counted each footfall. From memory, he knew it would be 327 steps. For several steps, all Jude could hear was the steady crunch of their boots, amplified into a hollow echo by the ice. Every so often, a forced cough from his dad, one of those quick huffs to clear the lungs. Jude stared down at his boots, watching as he continued to count. 56, 57, 58. He lifted his gaze again to stare at William's broad back, wishing he could match his father's long, loping strides. It was 327 steps for him. How many would that be for his father? 72, 73, 74. He pictured his mother waiting at home with a steaming cup of hot chocolate, maybe a cookie or two, chocolate chip. 87, 88, 80. For a moment he felt as if he were on the roller coaster at the county fair, as gravity's pull licked at his stomach. Instantly he knew what was happening. The lake was swallowing him, pulling him in, whispering his name. He opened his mouth to call for his dad, to scream, to do anything, but the water was alive as it raced down his throat, and the bitter cold was a red starburst as he closed his eyes, and the world was a dark, fading memory as he felt himself sinking. Sinking. William heard a whisper, a sudden gust of wind, followed by something even more unsettling. Silence. The steady chunk, chunk, chunk of Jude's footsteps behind him had disappeared. He turned, wondering why Jude hadn't cried out if he'd slipped on the ice. Jude was gone. Only a dark patch of water, swirling like a drain. It was an auger hole. Jude fell through. Left by previous fishermen, Jude fell through. And it wasn't possible at all for Jude to...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?